Your mission starts now. Are you ready? Action starts now. Are you ready?
Good morning, everybody, whoever's watching. It is Monday morning, and I have a job where I have off on Mondays, so yeah, Monday's like a Sunday to me. At work, you do the same thing I do. You listen to YouTube videos at work. See, I don't know. Maybe you just do it on break, or you drive like me, right? So yeah, I just put the Bluetooth headphones in, and you know, if somebody was just live streaming with no commentary, like they didn't say anything, I probably wouldn't watch that, you know, at work anyway, because because there's no audio. So yeah, man, you're driving. Don't fire off no text, no chat in the live stream or nothing like that, man. Which I have done while driving before. Not gonna say I've done it at work, but I have done it. Shit. So CeeLo, was work slow for you after the holiday season, as far as, you know, from a logistics standpoint? Because it has been for me. It's starting to pick up, and you know, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. I'm sure we're gonna get hammered for that. But shit, you couldn't pause by accident. And another thing, dude, I'm trying to figure out. I want to do a video. I want to do a video today. I haven't uploaded a video on YouTube in a minute. Like a week or so maybe. I just don't know what to do a video on. I don't want to just put together a video of nothing, you know, nothing to say, you know what I mean? Oh, I thought you were a truck driver, dude. For some reason. I'll tell you what I do have waiting at the post office for me today. I got a copy of Ultra Core in. I got it for like, it was a new copy that I saw on eBay. It was like $42. So I figured for that game, I wanted to play it. I watched the Game and Off the Grid video on it. Didn't really watch a whole lot of videos on it. It's like that, they call it the Lost Run and Gun Shooter for the Sega Genesis. And you know, gaming off the grid. You know, I respect them. I know those. You know, I talk to those guys, and they really like the game. And you know, when I see them do a video on it, and they seem excited about it. I know it's not somebody, you know, shilling a product. You know, so I decided to get it. You know, $42. I mean, that's not that bad. I've spent a lot more on a game. You know. But I have been selling off a lot of games that I'm not playing anymore, dude. I have so many games that I'm just not playing anymore, and some of them are worth some money too. So, you know, I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff on eBay. Metro Retro. I'm assuming you're in like a city. This is Ketsui. This was released for shit. This was ported to a lot of systems. This came out on shit. I even have a version of this game on the DS. It's actually a pretty cool version. It's like a boss rush version. UK. All right. The UK and oh shit, just got hit. So that's what's happened when you read the text in games like this. You tend to die a lot. But in the UK, your subway, it says mind the gap, right? Mind the gap. I tell you what, I've seen people fucked up, like, you know, high on dope and stuff like that. I've seen people fall in the gap between the platform and the subway. I have seen that. In Baltimore, you know, home of the heroin. You know, from YouTube, I have quite a few friends in the UK, quite a few YouTube channels, and, you know, people that are really involved in the retro community. Yeah, the UK seems to be, I guess, the trains are so bad they don't show up. There we go. We have a pretty good public transit system out here. They're supposed to be making, because Baltimore's right next to our nation's capital, DC, District of Columbia. It's like where the president lives, where Donald Trump lives, right? I'm like, you know, 45 minutes away from that, maybe. But they're supposed to build, I mean, they do have a connector train, but they're supposed to build a transit system that will take you from like Baltimore to DC in like 15 minutes. I keep looking at the chat now, so it's alright. I got 9 continues, so I should be alright. But I am playing this game on easy. I'm gonna play it on normal or arcade after this, because I'm thinking for this game, I know it's a lot harder. Actually, it's a lot harder. The arcade mode's a lot harder, but they don't give you. It's called guard break. What's it called? Hit guard. That's right, hit guard. Where you use a bomb, or, you know, whatever the gimmick or mechanic is in that shooter, uses, you know, a bomb or something like that instead of a life. Now, another game that does that, a really awesome dojin game that I would love to see on systems like the Nintendo Switch and the PS4, would be fucking Eden's Ages. Y'all don't know about that shit. Rasila, you probably have seen me play that, or probably have played it yourself. It's a good one. Free to download online. It plays just like a cave game. Really good. It's some of those, like, some of that dojin shit, like some of the stuff that I only have digital copies of. You know, sometimes I try to donate to those developers when I can, because, you know, I love their product, you know. You gotta support your fellow man in this type of industry, you know. The pond, that's the Atlantic Ocean, right? The pond. You know what's crazy about my life right now, right? I used to like hang out with somebody, like I'd hang out with either like if there was one friend I was spending a lot of time with or a bunch of different friends. I used to on a daily basis hang out with tons of different people. Like it was crazy. I worked my job, I got off work, I did stuff. I did a lot of stuff, and I do a lot of stuff now, but I got a woman, I got a kid, and like the only people, like the only guys that I really talk to anymore are like you guys and other YouTubers. As far, you know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? Like the people I talk to like on my phone that I text and shit are other YouTubers. People that I talk to in live streams are other YouTubers, and you know, commenting on videos and that type of thing. Social media. There's a couple that live near me that I've hung out with a few times, but even like the friends that I have that aren't, you know, like work related. Like one of my buddies owns a store in the flea market, and you know, just it's like all video game related shit. You know what I mean? Tell you what, there, that friend is a handy guy to have as a friend too, because he has fucking given me some bangers, especially lately. Oh my god, what did I get from that guy? And this is, I got this shit from the flea market too. I got fucking I got some Dreamcast shooters. I got Border Down. I got the collector's edition of Border Down, right? I got Twinkle Star Sprites for the Dreamcast. Border Down's for the Dreamcast as well. And I got Shikigami no Shiro 2, or Castle of Shikigami 2. It did release here in the U.S. and it's, you know, like $15 game. Of course, for the Dreamcast, it's a Japanese exclusive. But anyway, I found all that shit at the flea. Well, I didn't find it at the flea market. The guy at the flea market had it and knows that I'm into that type of thing. But he didn't try to fuck me on the price or nothing. He hooked me up. Yeah, well, I'm almost 40 years old, so there is that, you know. I'm almost 40 years old, so... Yeah, I guess you're right. But even before, like when I was in my 30s and shit, or I'm still in my 30s now, but, you know, when I was in my early 30s, when I was in my 20s, you know, most of it was work-related, the people that I associated with. And, you know, maybe it's just because jobs have changed. I owned a business for a while. I think that secluded me because I had a clothing store in like a strip shopping center. It was actually in a really nice area. There was a movie theater, and it was like an outdoor mall. It was called the Avenue in White Marsh. For those of you that I don't think any of you guys are from Maryland, but had a t-shirt store there. That's actually where I started my YouTube channel, because if you look at some of my older videos, just the scenery was different. I had a clothing store. And sometimes I would film my YouTube videos at my desk and stuff where I had my camera set up. And like customers would walk in and they'd be like, oh, sorry. I'm like, nah, it's cool. That's more important, you know, what y'all want. Yeah, me and CeeLo are on the same page with a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that dude has been watching my live streams like ever since I got on YouTube. I think my first live stream, and you know, a lot of times I don't talk a lot. You know, I'm gonna start. You know, I got a microphone for my PS4. I've always had a microphone, but you know, being interactive during live streams, I do think is important. I know for me, just in the evening time, I can't really be live streaming and be loud or even talk like I'm talking right now, because my family, like my woman runs a business and my kids got school, and I live it, and I actually live with my parents-in-law, my in-laws. Shit, I actually pay the fucking mortgage for them, for real. They get on my ass about everything. It's crazy. My philosophy is, as long as you do good and you're doing the right thing and you're kicking out money, nobody should bother you, but you're dealing with in-laws, it's never the case. But I had a house in East Baltimore, near the city of Highlandtown, and well, the city of Baltimore, the area. There's like different areas within the city, but this was the Highlandtown area. And I had that house for about 10 years, and the only reason I left that house was to be closer to my woman and kid. And actually, I pretty much gave that house up to a buddy of mine. He still lives there. And he was very grateful for the house because I was able to, I just rented at the time, right? And the guy that I rented from, he was a friend of mine. And the guy that, okay, so there was like two, it's like a house split up into two apartments. There was like one big part of the house, which was mine. And there was a small apartment upstairs. They were separated with doors and stuff, you know. But obviously the downstairs house was really nice. And we both paid like the same amount of rent, right? So when I left, I said, look, man, I'll leave. Just find somebody to rent the apartment upstairs. I'll give you the downstairs. I'll tell the owner and set it up for you real quick. You know, he was fucking so happy. That house was a banger. Straight bachelor pad. Let me tell you something. I'm not, like, my woman's not here and stuff, so I can talk about some of this kind of thing. When I tell you I got it in that house, look, y'all, I got it in that house, man. I'm talking some days of the week, like, I'd have a different broad over like every night of the week. It was crazy the type of shit that I used to do in that house. And it was a lot of fun, but like CeeLo says, we grow and mature, right? And become responsible adults and human beings, you know? You know, when I think about some of my behavior from back then, you know, just being honest, you know, I think about people's feelings now a lot more. And, you know, just coming at somebody with a false narrative pretty much is wrong, you know? Alright, so we're going to play, or should I play another shooter? What y'all want to say, or anything on the PS4? Although that would mean that I would have to stop the stream and restart it, but... Which is a good thing about using an Elgato. I'm just streaming directly off the console, but if I had an Elgato, it's, you know, whatever's kicking into that HDMI signal. Alright, we're going to do arcade. Shit. So arcade, we don't have hit guard, we don't have, I think the bullet patterns are a little faster and a little bit more dense. But can I admit something to the few people that are watching the stream right now about shooters, right? They have a copy, and I have a copy of it too. It's actually a burnt copy. It's not, it looks real, but it's not. But they had a copy of Radiant Silvergun at the store up the street from my house, right? It's awesome. I live near a store that gets shit like that, especially me, the shit that I'm into, right? They want $250 for that copy of that game. $250. I'm like, are you guys serious? I was like, what's up with it? Like, it's gotta be, it must be in like new condition. They were like, yeah, so I get it, you know, condition, you know, I get it, but I could find that game for a deal. I could get that game for like $120 or something, you know what I mean? But, you know, just stuff like that. The reason that game is expensive as it is because of Treasure and the, you know, the Treasure being synonymous for programming the good games. But let me tell y'all something about Treasure, right? And this got me kind of thinking, right? Treasure makes a good run and gun shooter, but as far as shoot 'em ups, what good shooters has Treasure done? What, Gradius 5? Gradius 5 is too fucking hard, for one, right? Even on the easiest setting, Gradius 5, I got trouble with Gradius 5, right? Once you get past the first couple stages, because those suns that implode or explode or whatever in the first stage of Gradius 5, they're a bitch, even on easy. And then you got Ikaruga, right? I'd rather play Gradius 5. Ikaruga, yeah, it has a pretty interesting mechanic of flip-flopping the black and white, right? But that's it. There's no bombs. That would definitely help out a lot, bombs. That's it. It's just the flip-flop. And it's just not for me. You know, Ikaruga, I'm sure no one's ever seen me stream Ikaruga. You know, I would consider myself a hardcore enthusiast. That's just not a good shooter, Ikaruga. I mean, I have it downloaded on my PS4. I got a copy of it on the Dreamcast, but definitely not my favorite shooter. you know, one that, yeah, Gradius 5, that's it. Gradius 5, you know, Radiant Silvergun is okay. You know, it's okay. It's probably the best of the three. And then I can't think of any other shooters that they've actually been involved with. But if I had to rank the three, it would be Radiant Silvergun, Gradius 5, Ikaruga. Definitely in that order. But Ikaruga is just not... Like, I watched on YouTube, I see people wearing the t-shirts of it. And, like, I'm like, what the fuck is up with this game? Why is this game so fucking popular? Like, I just don't get it. It's got to be Treasure. It's got to be the fact that it came out on the Dreamcast, maybe. I don't know. I don't get it. Of all the shooters out there that are so, this one, you know, there's so many good ones. Why are people stuck on Ikaruga? I do not get it at all. Hey, we need the spread shot on this one. Oh, I have a Codebreaker. I have a Codebreaker disc, bro. It's like, I just looked at it the other day. It's like Codebreaker 9.3 or something. Damn, I wonder if that's got some Gradius 5 codes. Because I'll tell you what, man, my Game Genie, I love my Game Genie on my Genesis, bro. Not only because of the codes, but the fact that you can just fit all the games in and play all your imports and shit, you know, with... One thing it does, though, is it puts noise in the line on the game. Like, at least mine does. I don't know if all of them are like that, but... Okay, so yours does, too. Okay. Via my Genesis, that's a must-own. If you have a Sega Genesis, a Game Genie is like a must-own. You know, for many reasons. Not only the codes, you know, but if you're into shooters, you know, playing your imports, you know, unless you want to modify your load, you know, you can play them that way. Fucking Ikaruga. You know what I would see? I would see like RGT85. Like, I'd watch his channel sometime. I don't watch his channel anymore, but you know, a couple years ago, I'd watch him wear a t-shirt. I'm like, what's up with this? You know, like, you'd figure that if people were just like played shooters like casually, it'd be like you know, R-Type, Gradius, you know what I mean? Like something generic, but which I like both series, but you know, or fucking what's a good one? R-Type, Gradius, or like a famous one. Darius, you know, Darius. You figure somebody would be like Darius, you know, or whatever, you know. But why Ikaruga? I don't get it. And all of them games I just mentioned are better than Ikaruga. I can think of the worst R-Type. You know, what's the worst R-Type game I've ever played? Honestly, it's probably R-Type Dimensions, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because I like R-Type 3 and Super R-Type. Yeah, R-Type Dimensions is just... I like R-Type Dimensions in like the classic mode, but, you know, you figure people would be talking about that rather than Ikaruga. I just don't get it. It's funny what becomes popular in society. Raiden, yeah, there you go, Raiden. That's you know, Raiden. I got Raiden t-shirts and shit. I don't have a fucking Ikaruga t-shirt, nor will you ever see me wear an Ikaruga t-shirt. I got t-shirts of a million, especially like when I owned my shop, right? I made t-shirts of like every game that I like. So I still got shirts with my YouTube channel name on it. Like, I made a bunch of Cave shirts and just like any kind of shooter that was obscure that I liked, I made a shirt for it. I should have made a fucking Crimson Clover shirt. God damn it, that's my favorite shooter of all time. Oop. Fuck. What I want to know is, guys, right? And I'm playing with this. I've been playing with a Switch Pro controller for the past, I don't know, week or so, and I'm using a PS4 controller right now. PS4 controller feels really good for shooters, anyway. What I want to know is, what do we have to do to get fucking Crimson Clover ported to the Nintendo Switch or the PS4? Preferably the PS4, if I'm going to be completely honest, because or both, you know, just because of the controller. But I need to start a movement with that. That way, everybody can experience that game. But there is a pretty good version of it on Steam. It's actually not my favorite version, but even though I would consider it the definitive version, but Crimson Clover World Ignition on Steam is pretty excellent. It varies from the original Dojin version of that game. Ikaruga. You know what we got on the, speaking of Ikaruga, being a Dreamcast game and all, one game that did come out on the Dreamcast that is decent, it's a bit of a boss rush, but you know, it takes some getting used to, would be Chaos Field. I think Chaos Field's pretty decent, but there's a game that kind of takes the formula of Chaos Field and kind of bumps it up, or takes it way to the next level, and that is Altenex Second. The second game in the Altenex trilogy. That's for the PC shooter. But man, we need to get that one ported too. Console. I don't know whose pee-pee I gotta suck to get Crimson Clover on one of these consoles, but if it came down to it, I might have to take one for the team. Damn it. See how I went in on the boss, right? I kind of went up to like mid-level to where the boss was. That's because I'm so used to playing S-Braid and having that that shield, you know? Oh, you know something else we need, guys? Speaking of you know, getting shit ported and everything, we already got Danganronpa imported, right? Cave game, awesome shooter, right? I advise all y'all to play that, download it, play. You can download it on a US PSN store, right? We need a physical of that. You know, I don't know who M2 or who, yeah, I guess M2 has shot triggers, right? I don't know who M2 gets to publish there, or maybe they publish them themselves, but we got Ketsui, we got S-Braid, which I'm very grateful for, but I would have rather had a physical of fucking Danganronpa rather than what I'm playing right now, and the reason being is because, like I said, this was ported to the DS, to the 360, to the PS3, which I don't own. I do not own the 360 or PS3 port of Ketsui. I have it on the PS4. We need Danganronpa physically. Come on, M2. Yeah, I mean, you know they'll sell them. What do they have to make, like 1,000 copies or whatever? Like, you know, 1,000 people would buy it. I'll buy a couple of them. Hell, I'll buy 2. Put me down for 2 of them. On the Switch and PS4. Linda, what's going on? I remember the one time I hung out with Linda, we were at a convention and she ran up to me, she was like, hey, and this guy, this was really cool, this guy was like, it was a convention, there was all these vendors everywhere, this guy was like, come one, come all. He was like, I have some choice games inside this tent here or something. He wasn't lying, he had a lot of good shit in there. I just ran through there and grabbed like 3 things and just handed some dude some money and then walked out. It happened in like 2 minutes. I don't know if you remember that, Linda. how I got my shadow hearts. But yeah, guys, here, like, the post office is open. It opens in a half an hour. I got a copy of Ultra Core. Shit! Yeah, Ultra Core. I'm really excited to play that game. Hell, I might even fucking stream it. Or maybe I'll play it for a little bit and then stream it so I can get used to it. There we go. So yeah, arcade's quite a bit harder than easy. No hit guard. Not that I really need the hit guard, but the bullet patterns are definitely a lot denser and faster. But it's cool when you play on easy. You know, you can learn the patterns. That way you can start bobbing and weaving. That's what easy taught me anyway. So it is like it's raining out here. It's nasty out. I watched one of Canadian Gamer's videos, and he was talking about, you know, he wanted to see people make videos outside, right? So I've done some videos outside before. So I was thinking I'm gonna do like what that guy says. I'm gonna do a video outside, right? I look outside today, and it is, it's nasty. It's rain. It's cold. I might sit in my car, which is what I normally do, you know. But there is a video I want to make, right? I want to do a video. We can just talk about it right now, actually. I'll still probably do a video on it, but why can I not? There we go. Yeah, there's 3 things about the Nintendo Switch that I think really need to be improved. It just my opinion. I know I'm into niche shit, and you know, like, but you know, the first thing, it's been beat to death, and you know, I've just never really talked about it, but the D-pad and the lack of a proper D-pad on that thing. Like, how are you supposed to play games like this without a D-pad? I cannot use an analog stick. I can't. Maybe for certain games, but not for no S-Parade or nothing like that. I can't, you know? But, you know, the Hori D-pad that they made is pretty good. I have one. That's what I use when I have it in handheld mode, and I think it's great, right? And then when I have it docked, I use a Switch Pro controller. But why would Nintendo not include that in their system? I mean, the Switch Mini's got one. It's got a D-pad. Like, I just want a new, like, a proper OEM Nintendo Switch Joy-Con D-pad. And I'm not the biggest fan of the D-pad on the Switch Pro controller. It's okay, but I mean, I got a Hori Switch controller, like a third-party one, just to see how the D-pad was, and it was so terrible. I pretty much gave that controller away because the D-pad was so bad. I could not. It like hurt my finger. Of course, yeah. Well, I would add in the PC, but I guess if you want to, I guess that's not a console, but yeah, between the PS4, the Switch, and the PC, definitely. Damn it. Bomber. Anyway, we need a D-pad on the Switch. Switch needs to, and I'm not saying send a D-pad left Joy-Con out to everyone that's ever bought a Switch. They just need to do like what Hori did and release a proper D-pad that has a battery in it and rumble for the Switch, you know? They need to release it. Fuck. So that's one thing Nintendo has yet to do. And you know, they sell modified ones on like sites like eBay and stuff, but they're like $100 for the modified Joy-Con. And I've heard some people say they've gotten some modified D-pad Joy-Cons and they weren't that good. So I'm a little scared to spend $100 on a controller, you know, not knowing if it's going to be good or not. That's why I say that they need to make a Joy-Con, a D-pad Joy-Con, a proper one. The next thing that needs to change with the Switch, right? They need to take a nod from Sony to start streaming directly, being able to stream directly from your console, like kind of like what I'm doing right now with this PS4. That would be great to do that with the Nintendo Switch, but you know, I know Nintendo's funny about their people streaming their stuff, and you know, they just kind of recently, you know, kind of tolerated it. So I guess Nintendo probably wouldn't add that feature in. But I think it would do nothing but help them, you know, and make everybody happy. So that's the second thing that needs to change with the Switch: the lack of ability to live stream from the console. And there was one more thing. There was like 3 talking points that I had. There's the D-pad. The lack of ability to stream directly from the console. There's one more thing. I'm like fucking dying left and right just trying to think about it. God, there was one other thing that really needed to change with the Switch. I forget. What do y'all think? What do you not like about the Switch? I mean, the Switch is a great console, but what do you think needs to change with it? Like, would y'all really want a D-pad? I really want a D-pad. And I really notice it when I play shooters and even action RPGs that I use the D-pad for. It became annoying using those buttons. I can't even fucking play right now. I'm trying to think. There was these 3 talking points that I had about the Nintendo Switch. The D-pad, the lack of ability to live stream. One other thing, I forget. Still get a Switch. Still get a Switch. There's a workaround around it, okay? Hori makes a Joy-Con, a left Joy-Con. There's no battery in it, so you can't use it. The only way you can use the Joy-Con is on the Switch itself in portable mode, but it's only $20. And it is a very good solution. It is a very good solution. I just want one, like a Nintendo branded one. That's what I want. And when you use it in dock mode, you just use a Switch Pro controller. So not only do you need the Switch, now this part kind of sucks, right? Because you got to get the Switch, you got to get the Hori Joy-Con. That's $20. So that's, you need a Switch. The Switch is $300. Joy-Con's $20. So that's $320 right there. You're gonna spend probably another $60 on a Switch Pro controller. So you're talking $380. I guess that's not that bad. It's not that good either. But Yeah, dude, I didn't own a Switch for the longest time, maybe 2 years. I just recently got one, maybe 6-7 months ago. But the only reason I got one is because I got one off the street cheap. You know, that's the only reason I got one. I waited till I found a deal on one. You know, Baltimore. You know, people sell shit on the street. You know. Oh, I thought of it. I just thought of it. The other thing that needs to change with the Switch. This is a big one. All right, this is a big one. I don't know why it slipped my mind. But there's no Bluetooth, right? No Bluetooth. That's kind of weird for a portable console. I know for me and my job at work, I have Bluetooth headphones around my neck, you know, 24/7. And, you know, since it's a kind of a portable system, you know, kind of the Switch is, why would Nintendo not include Bluetooth in a system that came out over the past few years? I just don't get it. You want to switch for the smoke, so we need to switch. Well, Switch Lite. Well, I don't own a Switch Lite, but I will tell you this now. Don't you want to play your shooters on the TV? You know, it depends. Like, do you want to live stream at all? I mean, that might not matter to you. But don't you want to play on the TV? You know, if you want to play on the TV, you're going to need a regular Switch. If you want to use a, well, I guess you could use an arcade stick or whatever. They actually said you can use, you know, different controllers with the Switch Lite, from what I'm understanding. Probably not ones that use USB, but, you know, wireless ones or IR, or I guess Bluetooth, whatever the fuck they do. It's weird. Those Joy-Cons work, right? But there's no Bluetooth. I just don't get it. But they have a wireless dongle a wireless dongle. It's like a dick for a Nintendo Switch that you can use for Bluetooth capabilities. They say it's decent, but still, they should have it in there. You shouldn't have to go buy that thing. PSP. Now, the PSP. Whoo! PSP. Linda. Whoo! Good Lord. PSP is a great system, and there's some great shooters on it. Yeah, the PSP is not the Switch, but they did have the PSP Go, which I do have. I got the dock for it and everything. And I don't know why I haven't. The dock's still new. I haven't even cracked into it yet. But I played the fuck out of the PSP. But I got the dock and the PSP Go. At the time, I paid nothing for either of them, and now they're almost impossible to find. But you can pretty much use the PSP Go as a Nintendo Switch. Set it in the dock, just like the Switch, and then pick up a PS3 controller, right? Yeah, handheld gaming is so good, isn't it? Like, I want to not like it as much as console gaming, but it's just like the DS has an amazing library, including some good shooters on the DS, including this game right here. There's a fucking port of Ketsui. It came out in Japan, but it's not region locked. It works on my new 3DS XL, but yeah, there's There's a lot. I mean, there's not a lot, actually. There's a few. But the few that we did get were really good. Nano Stray. There's 2 Nano Strays. Nano Stray 1 is definitely the best, but then there's Nano Stray 2, which is decent, but it's a horizontal scroller. And then the GBA got some decent shooters. Iridian, which I found recently, is really good. Iridian 2, I'm sorry. Iridian 2. We got, what else do I have shooter-wise for the GBA? I got R-Type 3. I got... GBA got some serious games, too. I traded one of my good GBA games. It was complete inbox, too. It was a copy of Sigma Star Story. I traded that for a complete inbox copy with a water damage manual of Salvari R2 for the Dreamcast. Whatever. The dude really wanted the game. It's my buddy James, and I knew he really wanted it, so whatever. I'll find another copy one day. I found another copy, complete inbox of Sigma Star Story at the fucking flea market, and since I already had a copy, I could have bought another complete inbox copy for 20 bucks, but I passed it up. So hopefully somebody that appreciates that game has it, you know? Alright, I don't feel like playing this game again, but I could play... Let's see what I have for the PS4. I'm trying to look at them. I got Esprade, obviously. I've been playing the fuck out of that. Sign Mora, Cladrius Blaze, Darius Burst, Chronicle Saviors, Raiden 5, Super Hydra, Astabreed, Game Paradise, Battle Garaga, Shiki Hondo, Soul Eater, Fast Striker, Salvariar, Gundamaniums, Skyforce, which I don't like, Ghostblade, Sterndon, Full Blast. I got quite a few. Those are just physical. And then all the digital shit too. Good lord. I got a few digital games on the PS4. Which I'm actually thinking of playing Danganronpa right now, which is digital. Maybe one day we'll get a physical of that one, but we'll see. Maybe Play Asia, East Asia Soft might jump in there and decide to give us a physical on that one. But yeah, I'll play a few Danganronpa real quick. So I'm gonna have to end the stream, and then I'm just gonna jump right back on with Danganronpa. So whoever wants to jump in, I'll see you guys in a second.